So today we're making an apple pie. Yesterday I made the crust and I kept it in the fridge overnight. So if you need to make your own crust, please refer to that video, watch that, make your crust, and you can move on to this. Today we're going to do the apple filling. And then I'll also do a video on the Dutch apple top. If you don't want to use Dutch apple top, just make some more dough, layer it on top, dot some butter on the underside, lay the dough on top, and then bake it for an hour at 425. But to make the filling, it's pretty simple ingredients. You want some tart apples. I usually use Mackintosh, cinnamon, nutmeg, and sugar. So the first thing that we're going to do is peel the apples. You don't want apple peels in there. And we need, for this recipe, to make a pie, we need 6 cups of sliced apples. And so I'm gonna move my stuff out of the way here and show you how I like to start. I have this cool little apple peeler thing here that is just really neat, where I can take an apple, move that back, you kind of center it on here. Then I just turn it, and as I crank it, you see it starts peeling the apple, and then it also cores it. So it's just a really neat thing. I don't even remember where we got it, but it works wonders. I pull that off, it's sliced. So I take a paring knife, and for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to cut that off. Same thing up here, but you can see it comes out sliced. So all I have to do, cut it in half. I got it peeled, so I'll throw it in my bowl. And this bowl's kind of cool too, because on the side, you can't really see it on the video, but it has the amount of cups on the side. So I'm just going to start peeling more apples till I get up to the 6 cups of apples. All right, so I cut up all the apples. It took just 3 or 4 minutes with the little apple peeler decor thing here. Doing it by hand is going to take a little longer. So it's 6 cups of apples, and now we're just going to mix in all the other stuff. So it takes a 1/2 cup of sugar. You can add a little bit more, a little bit less, kind of up to you to taste. So I'm just going to pour all that in. And I usually kind of like to just start mixing it up as I pour in. Just get everything kind of spread out, and the sugar will start sticking to the apples and just kind of mixing it up. So as we mix it around a little bit, you can see it starting to get on there. All right, so then we need a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg and a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. So I take 1/2 teaspoon, and I like to spread it around, like I said, just to make sure it gets out there, because it's not a lot of seasoning, so you want to make sure it mixes in there nice. And same thing with cinnamon. We'll mix it around. And you could do more cinnamon, less cinnamon. If you don't like nutmeg, don't put the nutmeg in there. I like doing a 1/2 teaspoon of both. I think it comes out well, but you know, do what you want to taste. All right, and then we'll just mix this up. Real nice. And what's nice about this is also my grandma's recipe, and it's super simple. She grew up in the 20s in a rural farm in Indiana, and all they had was simple ingredients. So when I got her cookbook, you started looking, it's like there's nothing fancy with it, and it tastes great at the end. I tried other recipes, and there's all kinds of different things that people mix in, and I always go back to keep it simple. There's no reason to overcomplicate things, and if it's not broke, don't fix it. All the cliches that are out there. So this is mixed pretty well. You can see all your apples are kind of well coated. If you see some sticking together like this one is, maybe just push it apart with your spoon and mix it in. So now we're just going to put it in our pie crust. So I have the pie crust from yesterday, and again, go check out the pie crust video if you need to see how to make your own pie crust. Then you can just start kind of dumping it in. Then I usually take my spoon and kind of mix it around. You kind of have to layer, because they'll sit on top of each other and leave gaps in there. And so I kind of press down a little bit and move it around and put more in there. And as you bake, it'll bake down a little bit as well. Also depends on the pan that you're using. Some pie pans are deeper. I've also used cake pans in the past, and that seemed to work out pretty well. It makes like a deeper pie. A piece there. In case anyone's wondering, yes, I did wash my hands before I started all this. So, and that's it. That's how you make your pie filling. Pretty simple. 6 cups of apples, 1/2 cup, just a 1/2 cup of sugar, and a teaspoon of nutmeg and cinnamon. Now for the top, you have a couple options. One is to make extra dough when you make it and make it flat, and what you do is you dot it with butter. Take a butter stick and just put little chunks of butter all around it. Lay the top on there. You can cut in designs and stuff if you want to, however you want to do it. I like doing Dutch apple, and so I'm going to make a video on how to make the Dutch apple topping. So if you want to do that one, please refer to that video, and we'll have some delicious pies. This bakes at 425 for 60 minutes. I like to put a cookie sheet underneath it in the rack below, just because sometimes the juices will bubble over, and that's kind of a mess, and it smokes, and if the kids are in bed, smoke alarms going off, and it's just kind of a mess that you're opening up windows trying to vent that out. So if you have any questions or comments or ways that we can improve this recipe, leave them in the comments, and hit subscribe if you like this video, and you'll see more like it. Thanks.